All right, let's get to the latest on the economy now, something we're all talking about, of course. It's today's consumer price report showing inflation dropping 0.1% month over month, the biggest drop since the start of the pandemic. Inflation is still up 6.5% year over year. So what about what analysts are expecting? Well, President Biden, of course, is touting his economic policies as the reason for all the good news and said while there is still more work to do, well, we're moving in the right direction. Let's see if that's true. Let's bring in ABC's Elizabeth Schulze to talk more about these numbers and what it means. And we've been trying to figure out, okay, are we moving in the right direction? This is what we want, right? We want to pay less, get more.
It's what we want, and we want prices to go down. We don't want to pay as much for the same goods, which has been the case for the past year. And month after month, these high prices really kind of digging into our finances. So what we're seeing now is for the 6th month in a row, prices have cooled. So that is good news. And generally, a lot of the declines in prices are coming from gas. We see it in airfares. You see it in used cars, some furniture, places that had been really elevated over the past year, still kind of suffering from those pandemic issues, have started to come down. On the other hand, prices are still really high. When you talk about a number, prices rising above 6% compared to a year before, that's real dollars that people are losing because of the fact that inflation is still persistently high. And one of the issues that we saw in this report, Kira, is that services are really high. So rent is still an issue. Rent prices still went up in this report. Services like childcare, too high for a lot of Americans. So as much as there is good news, it's not quite good enough yet to say we're in the clear when it comes to these high prices.
I've actually seen a lot of families in our neighborhood, including us. We try to make do without doing it ourselves, right? Look, we want to be more present with our kids, but that is one of the things that is unbelievably expensive, and it's hard for families that everybody
and it makes
works.
You have to have a trade-off as to where you're going to spend your money elsewhere in the economy. And that's something that we're really seeing show up, is that if you have to look at your core budget, housing, food, childcare, there's not a lot of discretionary income left, and that's one of the questions that economists have is how long can people sustain these prices at this level and continue to spend on extra stuff that does kind of fuel the economy.
And you want to save. You want to save for the future.
Of course, you've got to save. That's important.
All right, so interest rates. What does this all mean? Because they kept going up, going up, going up. What's the deal?
My favorite question, always want to talk about interest rates, always want to talk about the Fed. But look, this is good news when it comes to the Fed's effort to try to tame inflation. They want to see these prices go down, but probably not enough to see the Fed stop raising rates. So in other words, we've seen these borrowing costs go up dramatically from the Federal Reserve over the past year. That's made your mortgage more expensive. It's made your credit card payment more expensive. The cost of borrowing money probably still going to go up. The Fed is expected to continue raising interest rates next month, probably continuing for the rest of the year, but probably not at the same pace that it's been. So that could start to feel a little bit better when you're coming to those interest payments.
So gas prices, I always use my grocery store number, and so they go down for me every time I go to the pump. But overall, if you don't have those kind of programs, right, to get the discount, what do you think? Gas prices are still pretty high.
Look, the general consensus is hopefully gas prices shouldn't be as high this year as they were last year. There are some positive trends, and when it comes to the likelihood of gas staying in the $3 range, but could still go a little bit higher. There are some concerns about sanctions that are going to be going into effect when it comes to the war in Ukraine. That is still a big wild card. And then, as we always talk about, Kira, it's still about supply and demand. So if there is this recession that a lot of economists are still predicting could happen, that could factor into the outlook for prices. Could mean prices go down, but if the economy is better than expected, demand is strong, prices go up. Something we watch every day, and we all watch it every day when we're driving anyways, too.
We count on you to keep us updated.
Always.
Elizabeth, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.